It does.
Yeah.
It does. Now, how have you been able to eliminate the pain so that you can get to? Tell me a little bit about your experience with
Beautiful.
this.
Yeah, great. So, it's several steps to this. What I was a kind of being an engineer. None of this was very acceptable to me.
Okay.
It didn't make any sense to me. As an engineer, there is no relationship between your emotions and your physical body.
Yeah.
I thought that, your emotions are your emotions, your body's your body, and there's no connection between them. So it was very hard for me to accept this diagnosis. But when I looked at the typical profile of the types of people that tend to get these psychosomatic pains, I fit like a glove, which is a good person who shouldn't have bad feelings. I'm a good son who shouldn't have bad feelings towards parents or siblings or anything along those lines. So once I read the book and got acclimated with this diagnosis, how it worked for me is I said to myself, wait, I think there might be something to this. I have the personality trait. So I went to visit with Dr. Sarno, who's a genius for coming up with this in spite of...
What type of doctor is Dr. Sarno?
He is the physical therapy doctor, a doctor of physical therapy, a physiatrist.
Physiatrist,
yeah. And so he treated me, saw that there was nothing physically, structurally wrong with me. He did a full examination. So, like I said earlier in the interview, so if only a doctor could tell you, look, there's nothing physically wrong with you. Even the MRIs and X-rays showing herniations, he said, this is not what's causing the pain. So he wanted me to look at this thing from an emotional perspective. And so I ended up working with one of his psychotherapists. And in the work with the psychotherapist, I discovered, wow, I have some anger towards my lovely old man. And so I saw something that I wasn't aware of.
So you was completely unaware of that.
I was aware of discomfort around my father, not, being uncomfortable or being like, if he said something nice to me, I would take it as, oh, he doesn't really mean it. And if he said something, some sort of constructive criticism, I would take it like a lethal insult to me. So I was aware that there was something off. What I was unaware, so you can say I was aware of not liking him or being upset with him. What I was unaware of was anger, rage, hostility.
That's a good point. And we're going to talk more about that as we come back. You're listening to Your Family's Health at the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. This is Jeanine Cook-Gerard, and we're talking about a wonderful book, Use Your Mind to Heal Your Body, authored by Stephen Conenna. And we're going to talk more to him after this short break.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. I was only 34 years old and the mother of 3 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was forced to make a decision about my health with few options. After my treatment, I made a commitment to provide help and inspire hope to those affected by breast cancer through early detection, education, and support services. I was fortunate to have resources and support through my journey, but so many facing breast cancer have to overcome the burdens of cost and fear alone. No one should face breast cancer alone. Today, NBCF has provided over 1 million early detection and patient navigation services so that women in need have access to these potentially life-saving resources. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org.
90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back to Your Family's Health. This is Jeanine Cook-Gerard, and I'm here with Stephen Conenna, and we're talking about his book, Use Your Mind to Heal Your Body. Welcome back, Stephen.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, you were telling us a little bit about your lived experience. Tell us and continue from where you left off. You were talking about the feelings that you had that you were unaware of about your dad, your father.
So first of all, you got to understand that at one level, I love my father.
Yes.
So he's a great man who loves his family. But at another level, in this primal part of my brain, this childlike part of our brain that we all share, there are these irrational emotions. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you need to uncover those. And there's a part of our brain that's afraid that these irrational emotions may come to consciousness. So that's the part of our brain that triggers this pain response as a distraction mechanism from those emotions ever coming to seeing the light of day. Mm-hmm. So what happens in this type of treatment, whether you do it with a book or you do it with a doctor or you do it with a psychotherapist, you ultimately have to confront or face those emotions. So in my life, in therapy, I discovered this reservoir of rage towards my old man.
Let me ask you this before you go further.
Yes.
When you were getting ready to confront your dad, for example, did you notice that the pain increased?
Yes, but the important thing here is that it's such a good question. There was a temptation within me to confront my dad, but that's not the solution. Right. Because the problem isn't that I was upset with my father. That's only the first part of therapy where you discover that you have the rage towards a loved one. That's not what's causing the pain. That's what in my book I call it the aha moment. That's the first half. That's the moment. I have rage towards someone that I didn't realize I had so much hostility towards. I was kind of keeping it under lids. The ha moment, which is even underneath that, is that I feel like a piece of crap for having those emotions. So that's what the brain doesn't want, a part of your brain doesn't ever want you to see. What kind of a monster am I for having rage towards this loving old man?
So in a way, experiencing pain in your life has brought you to a sense of healing.
Yes.
Because you were able to uncover, if you will.
Yes, that's a perfect word.
Okay. Those feelings about your dad, and that's one person, I'm sure.
Yes.
How about other relationships? Did you find that it impacted all relationships across the board, or was it just those people who were close to you?
It's mostly the people that you're close to, mm-hmm. but it's the same mechanism plays itself out in romantic relationships or in work relationships, because it's not. The problem was never, and I'm going to speak about my dad for a second, but only as an example of other relationships. The problem was not between me and my dad. It was how I felt about myself for having those emotions with him. And how I felt about myself actually came between me and my dad. So after therapy, where I was able to accept myself for having those, it's okay to have hatred and rage and anger. It doesn't make me a bad person. Doesn't even mean I need to talk to him about those emotions. They're normal. It's normal for a human being to have rage, anger. We love people and hate people at the same time. It's so irrational. It's like a childlike primal part of our brain, what Freud called the id. As it's just so it's kind of our own forgiveness and acceptance for having this. Same thing plays out in romantic relationships. Oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. Yes, at the surface level, what we talk about and gossip all day, like how bad she was and she shouldn't have and what a horrible person she is. But what's underneath that is, oh, I hate myself for what kind of a loser. Maybe I'm insufficient. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll never turn out for me. Maybe I've wasted my life, mm-hmm. you know. It's those kinds of very uncomfortable feelings that pain will start to come up around to block or distract you from exploring those emotions. Mm-hmm. You don't have to. So when I use the word confront, it's not to confront others. Right. It's to confront yourself. Yeah.
Because in confronting yourself, you in fact heal.
Absolutely. And healing in this, in this deep sense of the word. Healing doesn't mean that these emotions disappear. Healing means it's okay for me to have rage, sadness, guilt, shame. It's okay to have the full range of human emotions. Mm-hmm. That's healing.
Right.
Now I could be with my father, and it's like, sometimes it's like, those snow cones, the snow glass houses that if you shake them up, it's got a lot of snow on them. And so you can't clearly see the picture of the Christmas image or something like that. So those little specks of anger cloud the water between you and the people in your life. When you do this kind of work, you're able to distinguish in those rage and shame and guilt, those emotions, you're able to they go to the bottom, and you're able to be with the people in your life.
So at this point, are you pain-free?
Yes.
You are pain-free?
Yes. Now, from time to time, different pains come up for me. It could be a twinge in my back. It could be a neck pain. It could be a pain in my foot. Digestive. Sometimes I get, stomach pains. But in the past, my first reaction would have been, oh, did I twist my ankle? Oh, did I sleep with the air conditioner on? Oh, did I move my neck too quickly? But now, instead of asking myself those physical types of questions, I say, hey, Steve, hold on a second. What happened? What's going on with us? What's going on with us internally? What are you upset about? What are you scared about? What are you afraid of? Who are you angry with that you maybe shouldn't, it's not right to be angry. Mm-hmm. So I started asking me, I just kind of like face 180 degrees in the other direction and start exploring the psychological roots of these. So these pain, it's almost like a canary in the coal mine. Mm-hmm. When a pain comes on, the canary, if it, dies, there's some invisible smoke in the area. Here, if I start having pain in my life, there's some invisible unconscious emotions that I need to be looking at, not resolving, just knowing that they're there. Yes, and accepting myself and being okay with having them there.
Are you in therapy?
Not at the moment. I was for 1 year 15 years ago now. And I think everybody could benefit from therapy. And quite frankly, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be in therapy right now. Because you can't. It's just training to be that we seldom get in the world. We get trained on how to do taxes, how to do math, driver's license, and so on. But nobody trains us on how to be with unconscious emotions.
Yeah, that's very true. So if you had to leave the listening audience with one piece of advice relevant to your book in terms of using your mind to heal your body, what would it be, your advice?
I think that it's important to enlighten the public that there are millions of people that are suffering from chronic pain. There are more people suffering from chronic pain than people suffering from heart attacks and strokes combined.
That is true.
So there's millions of people suffering possibly needlessly from chronic pain that don't know, and they don't know that the source of much of this is psychological, not physical. So they need to be educated. The solution is education, not pharmaceuticals, not surgery, not exercise. It's education that you can get in a book, such as my book or Dr. Sarno's books. I think they're very complementary because Dr. Sarno's book is written by a doctor. Mine is from a patient's perspective. From
your lived experience.
From my lived experience. And perhaps a solution could be working with experts who are trained to deal with psychology, such as psychotherapists, but not just any psychotherapist. It would have to be a psychotherapist who understands this very specific relationship between our emotions and our pain. And if you understand that relationship, this could put an end to years of suffering for many, many people that people in the audience may be suffering themselves, or they know about people who are suffering from this.
How do we get your book? Where do we get
It's
it?
on Amazon. Just go on to Amazon.
Is there a website, www, or
Just go to Amazon, use your bot. I do have a website, but it's even easier